Hi. In the last 3 lessons, we've been concentrating on one note, and it's middle C, and we've been learning how to deal with middle C in the right hand. So it's time now to start adding new notes. And in lesson 4, we're going to be thinking about a new note called D. Now, the lessons we've done so far have been teaching us about this note, which we've learned is middle C. So there's middle C. This note is the note D. So let's just have a look at that for a moment before we get playing a piece of music that includes this new note D. The first thing to notice about it is it's just very slightly higher than C. That's because it lives next door to C. The second thing to notice is because it's a bit higher, we expect the sound to be a bit higher. Because when we write music, it's a kind of picture of how music sounds. And you may remember that we said fairly near the beginning of this course that when the notes go higher, we move to the right on the keyboard, and when the notes go lower, we move to the left on the keyboard. So this all helps us to connect what we're seeing with what we're playing on the keyboard and with what we're hearing in the sound. So we know now that middle C is this note. And we've learnt so far how to sit, how to hold our hands, how to deal with the position of the fingers on the keyboard, how to keep that top of the wrist nice and flat as well, and how to keep a lovely kind of relaxed wrist as well as elbows and shoulders relaxed. So keep thinking about that while we're learning about this new note D as well. Now, if this is C and we play C with our thumb, this note D is just next door to it to the right, so you can see what it looks like on the keyboard on the screen. And D, we're going to play with our next finger. So that's going to be this finger here, which we call finger number 2. So our thumbs are finger number 1, then the next finger is number 2, so I'm sure you've already worked out that the next finger is number 3, the next one is number 4, and the little finger is number 5. So to play C and D at the moment, we're going to use fingers 1 and 2. So 1 for the thumb on C and number 2 on D. So before we get into playing this piece, you probably just want to spend a bit of time practicing playing C with the thumb and then moving to D on finger number 2. And when you move between number 1 and number 2, make sure it doesn't change the hand position. So as you move from 1 to 2, we don't suddenly have the hand jump in the air or suddenly have it collapse like this. So we're keeping the hand in that good position that we've learned about. So just have a little practice playing C with the thumb and then playing D with finger number 2. And as you're practicing that, make sure that when we go from C to D, that it's a lovely clean exchange. You can see it on the screen now if you look at the keyboard. There's C, and at exactly the same time that I put down D, C is going to come up. And it's lovely smooth playing, isn't it? Going from C to D. So I'm not putting down C, then putting down D as well, so the 2 notes overlap before I think about bringing up C, because you can hear that smudges the sound. Listen to that. If I put down C and I add D to it, there's a kind of smudge before C comes up. And if you play like that, you'll have, it won't be very clear anyway, going from one note to the next. Or the other thing that can happen is you could play C and then you could decide to lift up C and then play D. And sometimes we want to do that in music, and we'll come back to talk about that later. But sometimes we just want to play smoothly from one note to the next. So it's worth practicing how you get from C to D by exchanging those notes, not by running them into each other like this, or by separating the notes with a gap in between. So that may just take a little bit of practice, going from C to D. And when you can go from C to D, try going from D back to C. So you've got really good control over exchanging one of those notes for the other note. Okay, now having done that, I've written a piece on the board here that uses these two notes, C and D. So we know that C is this note that has the line through it, and here's D, one above. So you can sort of see the pattern of the notes, can't you? You can see that the ones with the lines through, they're the C's, and the ones that are just above them without the lines through, they're the D's. But you could also think, well, this is C, it goes up one, down one, up one, down one, and so on. So you can kind of read the pattern of what's going on. Now let's see if we can learn this piece, and we're just going to start by thinking about the notes, and then we'll come back to how to do the counting. So I'm going to point to the notes and see if you can play the notes with me as we go. So the first note is C, then we're going up one to D, we're coming back to C, we're going up one to D, coming back to C, up one to D, back down to C. Then we're going up one to D, back to C, up 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 to D, and finally back to C again. So we're just going between C and D all the way through the piece. And you might want to get used to trying to get your eyes to read the notes so you're not having to look down at the keys all the time to see what the notes are. So get used to playing C and D without having to look at your fingers. Because if you get used to looking down at the notes, then you won't get used to reading the music. And if you look down for notes, what happens next is you look up and you don't know where you are in the music. It's so easy to get lost. So really, get used to feeling your way from C to D and back to C again. Then you can keep your eyes on the music and you can watch every single note as it goes past. Okay, now, if you're feeling happy about the notes, that's great. And if you're not, you can always replay this part of the film so far and get happy about that. But if you're happy, we're now going to go on and do some counting. And you'll remember from earlier lessons that we talked about these notes that are sort of coloured in, and we said that they're called crotchets, and they have one beat on them. And we also learned about this note, which has got a stem on it, but it's not coloured in. So there's one of those, there's another one, and there's another one at the end. And these, we said, are called minims. And when you have a minim, you have to count 2 on it. So let's now not worry about C's and D's, but let's see if we can count our way through the rhythm of the piece, dealing with the crotchets and with the minims. Okay, now you might want to just try clapping this rhythm as I point to the notes. Okay, so I'll count 4 for nothing and we'll just clap the rhythm. So we're counting 1 on each of the crotchets and we're going to count 2 on the minims when they come. So let's have a go at this, shall we? And see if we can actually clap this rhythm. And I'll tap along with it. So here we go, 4 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. So if you can get used to clapping the rhythm, then you don't have to worry about the notes while you're thinking about the rhythm. So it's a good idea to separate those two things. Get used to playing the notes, get used to clapping the rhythm, and then when you're ready, you can put the two things together and everything should go much more easily. Now, I was counting 1 on each of those crotchets, and I was counting 2 on the minims, wasn't I? But remember what we said in an earlier lesson. In this piece of music, there are 4 beats and a bar. So this crotchet takes up beat 1, this takes up beat 2, this takes up beat 3, this takes up beat 4. Then we go back to beat 1, beat 2, and then we've got a minim. Because the minim's got 2 beats, it takes up beats 3 and 4. So let's try just clapping that rhythm again, and this time we're going to count 4 beats in each bar. So here's 4 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice all the time we're trying to keep a nice steady beat. Okay, well, if we're now happy with playing our C's and D's, and we're happy with dealing with the counting of the notes, let's see if we can put the 2 things together and play this piece of music with all the right notes and with all the right counting. So here's 4 for nothing. See if you can play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you've got that sorted out, you'll be ready to play today's duet. So I'm now going to leave you to play your part, and I'm going to play a little part that just accompanies your tune. So let's see if we can keep exactly together and see if we can make this work without my part putting you off. So I'll count 4 for nothing, and then we'll begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope we got to the end together in that particular tune. And again, of course, you can repeat this over and over again until you're entirely happy about it. In the second part of lesson 4, we're going to carry on dealing with these 2 notes, C and D, but we're going to try and learn a slightly different tune. Or maybe you might prefer to think of it as another version of the same kind of tune. So first of all, just have a look on the board and see what you think might be different this time from the piece we've just been working on. Well, the first thing you might notice is instead of having a 4 at the beginning after the treble clef, I've got a number 3. And remember what this number is telling us. It's telling us how many beats there are in the bar. The last piece we were playing had 4 beats in every bar, and this piece has got 3 beats in every bar. And if you look at the first bar, you can check this out, because the piece starts with a minim, and we know that a minim has 2 beats, and then there's a crotchet, and we know a crotchet has 1 beat, so 2 beats add 1 beat, that gives us 3 beats, doesn't it? So we know we've had our 3 beats after those 2 notes, which is why we have a bar line to say that's 3 beats gone, here's a new bar, and you can now have another 3 beats. So we've got 2 beats here, 1 beat there, which gives us another 3 beats, so we have another bar line, and so it goes on. Now when you get to this bar, you might notice something else we've not seen before. This is a minim, just the same as these minims over here, but there's a dot after it. And it's quite easy to remember the name of this note. It's a minim with a dot after it, and we call that a dotted minim. It's as simple as that. So if you have a minim and you put a dot after it, we call it a dotted minim. Now then, I wonder how many beats you think a dotted minim has. Well, you might be able to work the answer out before I even tell you, because if you can see that this note fills up the whole of a bar, and if you know that we've got 3 beats in a bar, then you can tell me that that note must have 3 beats. It's filling up the whole bar, so it must be 3 beats. And when we see the next dotted minim over here, we can see that that's sitting in a bar on its own, so that must be 3 beats. And when you see the next one at the end, well, that's filling up a bar on its own as well, so you can see why it must be 3 beats. And if you want to know how we get to it being 3 beats, this is how it works. You can put dots after all sorts of notes, and we'll come back to all that later. But every time you put a dot after a note, you have to add on half of what the note's worth. So if this minim is worth 2, then the dot is worth half of 2. Now half of 2 is 1. So you've got 2 for the minim, and you've got 1 for the dot. And that's why a dotted minim is worth 3 beats. So this piece is introducing us to the dotted minim, as well as giving us some more practice in playing C's and D's. The other thing you might have noticed is that we've got some music up there, and then we've got a bit more music down here. Now, the way it works when we're reading music is we read from left to right. So we start here, we go all the way through to the end of the line, and when you come to the end of the line, you go back to the left to start the next line, and you carry on until it's finished. And remember, we know it finishes here because we have a double bar line saying the end. That's the end of the piece. So maybe, as we're now familiar with the C's and D's, we should just begin by thinking about whether we can clap the rhythm, remembering to count 3 every time we see a dotted minim, as well as remembering to count 2 on the minims and 1 on the crotchets. So let's see if we can do this. Okay, I'll count in 3 for nothing this time, and then we'll just try clapping the rhythm. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. So I hope that makes sense. We'll try it again, and this time I'll count the 3 beats in each bar, so we get used to counting 3 beats in each bar. So clap along with me in just the same way that we've just done. 3 for nothing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think it's time to try and play the notes now, isn't it? So remember, C is the one with a line through it, D is the one that's just above it. So we've just got to work out whether we're playing C or whether we're playing D, and we've got to keep doing our counting. Okay, I'll count 3 for nothing, and then we'll try playing the whole piece. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, play that as many times as you want to by rewinding the film until you're really absolutely confident about doing everything we've done there with the C's and the D's and with the counting. And when you're ready, we can play another duet. So here we go. You play your part and I'll play mine. Let's have 3 for nothing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop. So that's the end of that piece. And again, play that duet as many times as you want to. And when you feel confident about everything we've done in lesson 4, you'll be all set for lesson 5.